Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace, my go-to for building a website and online shop. Hello everyone! It has been 3 months since my last video. My life has completely changed. I'm so excited to update you all. First off, I just want to thank you guys for all of your encouraging and supportive comments, especially those of you who have been following my journey for so many years. I couldn't reply to each one, but I read all of them and they just moved me to tears. They meant the world to me. I'm so glad I was able to open up and share, I guess, this new chapter of my life with you. So it's been 3 months since I delivered a healthy baby girl, and I am trying to get back into making YouTube videos again. It's really hard. Right now it's just me and my husband taking care of her, so it's really hard for me to find time to do any work. So I'm trying to kind of ease my way back into things, and I definitely have not had time to pick up the paintbrush yet. So please bear with me. This video and probably like next month's videos are going to be things that are quick and easy for me to film and to edit. So a lot of maybe talking face to face. But yeah, I just really don't want to neglect my art career fully. But I'm also still trying to be really present for my baby. So yeah, let's get started with the updates. Okay, so the first update I wanted to share was my experience giving birth. I'm going to try to not go into too much medical technical details. I just want to talk about like the vibes. I am someone who, since like the 5th grade, when I learned about the birds and the bees in school, I have feared childbirth. That's kind of like the number one most difficult thing that I think a person can go through. I read somewhere that the greatest pain, like if you rank the greatest pain in the world that someone can feel, number 1 is being burned alive and number 2 is childbirth. So yeah, since I was a little kid, it's something that I have very vocally, expressed that I dread and fear. And to this day, I still think it's very unfair that only women have to do this and men don't. But anyway, so for me, when I walked into the delivery room, I was being induced because it's an IVF pregnancy. They recommend you getting induced at 39 weeks if you haven't gone into labor naturally. So I walked in pretty calm because I was really looking forward to meeting my baby, and I was focusing on that. And even though in the back of my mind, I still had that fear of childbirth, I was letting the positive thoughts override the negative ones. So, I was induced, which means everything was scheduled. I didn't have to wait for like labor to surprise start at home. I was taken care of from the very start. The staff at the hospital was amazing. And at first, the contractions that I felt were not too bad. I actually was naturally contracting anyway. By the time I went in, like labor had kind of already started in a very mild, slow way. And the first few contractions, I was like, oh, maybe it's not so bad. Like, it just kind of feels like period cramps. They gave me nitrous. They gave me like this thing to squeeze in my hand that was like sharp. I had plenty of food and water. I was watching basketball. Like, there were ways to distract myself. And then they put in this thing called a Foley balloon to try to dilate the cervix. Sorry if this is TMI, but they said if the Foley balloon doesn't dilate me enough, then they'll have to use Pitocin, which is like a more hormonal way to start contractions. And I heard Pitocin contractions are really painful. So luckily for me, the Foley balloon worked and my water broke naturally on its own. And then my contractions started escalating. And I remember my doula described them as like, oh, things are about to get spicier now. And I was like, oh, okay, so they're going to be a little bit more painful. No, they were a lot more painful. Like, a lot doesn't even begin to encompass the feeling of escalation. It was like I blinked and it went from, oh, tolerable with these, pain relieving measures to no matter what they did, it was completely unbearable. And I just remember I was crouching over, like I couldn't even lay down. The only position that was comfortable was me to stand hunched over the bed, crying and shrieking in pain. Like, I felt really bad because I know that like everyone was trying their best to help me and I was just almost throwing a fit. Like, I was just wailing. And I had wanted an epidural from the very beginning, but they said that you can't get an epidural until you're like 4 centimeters dilated. And at the time I was not quite at 4 centimeters yet. So I had to just wait while feeling contractions for an hour, which really isn't too long. Like I have friends and women I know who've endured like natural contractions for way longer. But for me, yeah, an hour was enough. And all that childhood fear of birth could not have prepared me for how painful natural contractions were. I remember on the delivery day, I had a group chat that I started with all my closest female friends so I could give them live updates. And I wrote in a paragraph describing what contractions feel like. And I told them to read this back to me if I ever want to have a second child, like before I just make the decision, to really consider how painful it was. And if, trigger warning if this is too graphic, but what I wrote was that it felt like there was a goblin inside of my abdomen with razor sharp claws trying to claw its way out of my body by lacerating all my insides. That's how it felt. Yeah, it was just horrible. And when I finally was qualified for the epidural and they put that needle into my spine, I almost welcomed and enjoyed the pain of that needle in my back, because at least it was a different sensation than what I had been experiencing. Because the contractions like come from within, so there's no like escaping them, if that makes sense. Like most other pains, it comes from the outside, like the pain of a needle, it's like there's something causing that pain and you can see it, and something's comforting about like, oh, I can see where the pain is coming from. But the contractions is just like your whole torso and part of your legs are in so much pain and you don't even know where it's coming from. It's like the body is just making itself painful. And like, I don't know, it just for me was so unbearable. So I now have so much more respect and admiration for all the women who choose to do natural births or who had to experience natural births, whether or not they chose. Like, you guys are troopers. Like, I can't imagine having that painful of a contraction and then pushing through it. Like, all I could do was hunch over the bed and wail and cry. So kudos to you ladies. And then after I finally got the epidural, I actually dilated fairly quickly. I went from like 4 to 9 centimeters within, I think like a few hours only. And it was time to push. And I thought since I dilated really quickly, that pushing would not be too bad. Again, I was wrong. I ended up pushing for 5.5 hours, which later on my midwife told me that was, she had rarely seen, if ever, someone push for that long. And I'm not saying this to brag or be like, oh yeah, like it was, I did not enjoy pushing for that long. And I don't really know, I'm not like athletic or super strong by any means. I think for me, I was filled with so much rage and stubbornness because, she told me that normally women usually, she didn't tell me this until after I was done pushing, but she was like, normally women push for about 3 hours and then they get tired and then we have to do a C-section. And so for me, I think like around, the first hour, I was like, oh, we're still in normal territory. This is how long pushing's supposed to take. Around hour 2, I was like, okay, it's taking a bit longer, but maybe I'm close to the finish line. Around hour 3, I was like, okay, this is feeling a bit long, but I am making slow progress. And at that point, like they were monitoring myself and the baby and we were both fine, like heart rate, oxygen, everything was fine. So they were like, yeah, if you want to keep pushing, there's no danger. If you're tired, we could always do a C-section. And I guess like there was a stubborn part of me that was like, challenge accepted. So then by the 4th hour, I was more so just like, it was a sunk cost fallacy. I was like, I've already devoted 4 hours into this. I am not going to quit now. Otherwise those 4 hours are for nothing. And then by the 5th hour, I was just mad. Like I remember my nurse, she was so sweet. She was like, my shift ends at 7 and I really want to meet this baby that we've been working so hard to push out. And so yeah, luckily, I think I ended up delivering at like 6:50 a.m. or something after 5.5 hours. So it took a while, but my staff was amazing. My husband was amazing. And when she finally arrived, I just remember like I was expecting to feel this overwhelming sense of love and connection right away. But instead, it was like, all I could think was, this is so weird. Like in the videos my husband took of me when they first put the baby on my chest, all I kept saying was, this is so weird, this is so weird. Like, it just feels like all of a sudden there's this new person in the room, and I expected her to feel really familiar, but she was still a brand new person I had just met for the first time. So it was a strange, overwhelming feeling. It was a happy feeling, but I definitely felt like I was like tripping or something. Like something was so strange. And I don't think for me, the bond and connection kicked in until much later. Also because I think honestly, the number one feeling in that moment I had was, oh my God, I'm finally done pushing. I'm so glad to be done. So yeah, I think it was when we were finally wheeled into the recovery room and I really got to snuggle her and look at her, then, the feelings of love kicked in. And, but even in the beginning, I was just so hormonal that I didn't really trust what I was feeling. I think for me, the bond really kicked in around like week 5 or 6 when she started noticing me and we had eye contact and the lights turned on in her head, so to speak, because before that, they're kind of just like sleepy little potatoes. And when she first smiled at me, I just remember thinking like, whoa, this is what they were talking about, like that bond that you have with your baby. It's really unspeakable. So yeah, so much of childbirth and being a mom is just unspeakable feelings. But yeah, I'm going to make this video into 2 parts because I don't have much time to make more videos this month. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about postpartum and what it's been like in the newborn trenches and I guess where I am at now. But thank you all so much for watching and listening to, I guess, my quick birthing story. I hope I didn't traumatize anyone. For any of you people out there watching now who want to or considering one day having babies, just know, like, I think out of all my friends, I am the one who feared delivery the most, and I always talked about it. And if I can go through it, you can go through it. You're not going to go through it alone, and it does suck. It is super painful, but it is like for only a few hours, or if it's a long labor, only for one day, and that day goes by so quickly. And then the rest of your lives, you have this, well, I guess you won't have a baby for the rest of your lives, but the rest of your lives, you have a child, you have your offspring that you get to take care of and love on. And it's a very worthy trade-off. So yeah, it's normal to be scared, I would say, but it's something that, we've all, like, women since the dawn of time have gone through. And I feel like we're so blessed to have modern medicine to help us and to relieve our pain. So yeah, I just feel immense gratitude that I was able to get through it, and feel so much respect and gratitude for all the women that came before that gave birth without any epidurals so that we're able to give birth with epidurals today. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video coming up shortly. Bye! And of course, you guessed it, my eternal never-ending sale is still going on in my shop. So if you'd like 20% off your order of prints and originals, just enter the code HOLIDAY at happyd-artist.com. And if you're interested in learning more about how to paint and draw, I have lots of art educational content on my Patreon page, including exclusive video tutorials, step-by-step photo tutorials, live streams, podcasts, and even surprise art gift boxes. All available at patreon.com/happydartist. I'd love to have you join my Patreon family. A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and supporting the art community. I've been using Squarespace for 10 years now, and it's been an integral part of being able to make a living as an artist. Aside from their beautiful, customizable templates and easy-to-use interface, Squarespace now has so many robust tools to help make website building be both effective and intuitive. There's a new design intelligence feature that uses a combination of industry experience and cutting-edge AI to help you make a website bespoke to your brand and digital identity. Squarespace takes the intimidation out of setting up an online shop with their intuitive e-commerce platform that accepts every type of payment method you can imagine, all with just a few simple clicks, so you can easily sell your work all around the world. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/happydartist to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Also, if you want to check out more artworks, works in progress, and just random daily artist adventures, feel free to check out my Instagram, and you can follow me at the handle @happydartist.